Okay, so our first thing we actually concede from. So I don't have your controller input in the top right. So if we can just make sure for our next session, we have that input overlay on. I think you send Mbappe here on a creative run downwards, which I actually don't mind. I think this is okay. But when you turn upwards and away, you basically now cut out the ability to use a Dharma and then obviously your ability to play into Mbappe. So you kind of put yourself into a bit of trouble. Just needed to release into striker and then go into the bottom of the screen, but you tried to find them. If you wanted to play that ball out into this right wing, you almost have to keep yourself in that sort of position, right? So you kind of bait yourself there slightly. Now, this is where you then get caught up, right? Because your midfield's out of position now and you're thinking about that big gap and coming through. We spoke to you in the last session about your centre mids and using them and coming away from being so aggressive with them and second man press to combine with that. In this position, if you just watch this right now, look at what you do with Pepe, right? You aren't active in the defence. You're not there putting on any sort of pressure with him on the ball on the edge of your box. You're just trying to put the pressure to try and push him out to the side, to try and get him to recycle, to not give him the freedom to go forward. So you use a bit of partial team press now, but when you look at this, you have the benefits of playing the 5 at the back, which now means you can actually step here and be aggressive with whoever this is here, left wing back, to come over and put pressure on the Joe Linton. You don't need to try and go and win the ball, but you just need to kind of get in his face. So kind of running at him, leaving a 2-yard gap and then see him. Where does he take a touch? Where does he go? And how does he move? But you're just too passive. Like, look, you're not active in the defense. You're not doing anything. You're not even second man pressing here. You're just doing nothing, right? Which gives him that ability to go to Llorente and then gets a little bit lucky, obviously, with the deflection. And João Pedro, very good jumping on that card and obviously go 1-0 down early. All right, so you get your first opportunity of the game. You use a Adama Traore super well. Obviously, so good in this area, driving down towards the line. You're in a beautiful position now. When Mbappe was kind of lurking on the edge, which Van Dijk, he goes and moves and covers across it. You're in a great position for you here to kind of go to that next level. And you obviously, you say yourself, you want to move on to 16, 17, 18 wins. And this is an area where I think you can push yourself a little bit further. Everyone's so worried about these cutbacks. He's worried about Mbappe here. How do you kind of get around this? Adama Traore can keep running there and you can play a lock. So we've spoke about the play a lock before in the past where you press the left stick and the right stick in. The icon will change. You then have to right stick switch up to this play here, to Remy, and just move to Remy this side of Blanc. The AI is controlling him. He won't track that. He needs to do that manually to see that player lock. And then all you do is you just press the pass button from there and then you get that simple tap in. I'll send you over some videos of examples of where you can do it. You cut it on the inside to go for the shot on Adama Traore's weak foot. His shooting also isn't fantastic. So, you're kind of asking a lot from him here. And obviously just, goes out for a throw-in. So really, really good opportunity. I like the fact that you use Adama Traore in the way that we want him to be used. Quick, strong, driving the byline, getting into that position, but cutting in and shooting with him, not an area that we want to look for. Ball with Mbappe, your absolute turn is fantastic. As you receive this, you kind of take the touch away and then just get that little turn and dribble, defending just, lackluster from the opponent. Mechanically here, I think we're a little bit lost in a sense. Like Mbappe's got into this position and this is where I think you have to try and experiment a little bit. I always talk about you kind of being in the final third and you expressing how you want to play, whether that's tiki-taka, some skill moves, some byline drives, dribbling, whatever it may be. A ball roll scoop here could be really good. Just ball rolling 90 degrees down and then square an X up to get that scoop turn to go up. And basically trying to get into a more dangerous position. Out here in Mbappe, he can't shoot. Yes, he can drive the byline and look for that cut, but Joe Linton's there. So it's about saying, okay, can we kind of get past you? Can we get into this area to look for a Dharma coming through, to look for the slip into Salah, and then go one more into Taremi? Instead, obviously, we just keep driving, and then you're trying to protect the ball, and kind of Joe Linton's there. So if we just watch it back one more time, stop sprinting, little ball roll scoop. Can we kind of send him that way? You just drove the byline with the Adama Traore last, so that's fresh on his mind. You might be thinking you're going there again. A really good position, just mechanically a little bit like, I don't know what to do. It's kind of what it seems like there. So kind of backing kind of on the decisions and trying to take on that defender. Okay, so our next example, you do a really good job here of sending Adama Traore on a run and then picking the ball up with Ballack. Sometimes you have to let the attack breathe and develop. Adama Traore is 1v1 with Van Dijk. This is a good matchup. Van Dijk, yes, he's super strong on FT24. This Adama Traore is quick, he's strong. It's a favourable one. Ballack right now needs to let this run develop. He has currently got, 6 yards to kind of gained up on Van Dijk? You're asking quite a lot. You try to play this ball into feet with an X pass, and it's not going to go there because basically right now, Adama Traore is running. He's running away from you. You're doing an X pass to where he is now, but he's going to keep going. You can just see how it gets kind of like under hit, and Adama Traore applies the brakes, and then Van Dijk just steps there instead. So by letting this attack breathe, you can pick the ball up with Ballack. You can maybe just R1 sprint to controlled sprint away. You don't want to take a touch with sprint, because then Van Dijk might step and be really aggressive. But you don't want to just left sit dribble, then you might get caught by De Jong. So just up that way, protect the ball from De Jong, and then wait for Adama Traore to make that run in a more advanced position, where you can then look to obviously slip that in behind. You've just not let it breathe. You've not let it go on for another 1 or 2 seconds to then kind of lay that ball through. On to this next one. Ball comes out towards the byline, and again, this is kind of where you have to build up that muscle memory of, and we spoke about this in our last session, where your vision needs to be spot on. And obviously we spoke about Osu and the FPS kind of warm up to get your eyes scanning across the pitch. Right now, João Pedro has nothing on, literally nothing on. So, you know, when he comes out to here and he faces back up there, you can be super aggressive on this covering of the byline. So you want to like position Van Dijk to cover into here to force him to go back, and then you've got players here to deal with this cutback, pushing him away into a less dangerous position. If he turns into here and you're kind of protecting this side, then that's more dangerous, right? He's getting into the 18-yard box. So you can see how you position the wrong side of him. When you spot what's happening in and around, and you can say, okay, he's got nothing on, João Pedro is facing out towards the wing, I can be aggressive. I can come and step on him and kind of get up into his face and be there. You don't have to win the ball, but just kind of being on his back, putting that pressure, trying to make him force that. Now, when he turns there, if you were that little bit closer and you're protecting this area, this is just Van Dijk's ball every day of the week. So you allow him too easily to get into that 18-yard box. Obviously, he lays that ball off one more. Thankfully enough, Joe Linton's there for the block. So to give you a bit of praise just for you actively trying to use that second man press a little bit more, you can see here, you activate it straight away. You're trying to pull that centre mid back. You can do this and get away with it with like Skriniar, Van Dijk and Pepe, because their defensive stats are so good. There are times where, which we'll probably touch on in our next session, where you do kind of actively need to switch, but really good to see you using that second man press. Well done. You lay the ball into the middle here, which I think when you already look at this screenshot, you can see you've got numbers in front of you and behind. De Jong is going to pressure from this side, and then you got Van Dijk there, you got Blanc there. So you're basically kind of being congested in this area already with Mbappe. And you do a really good job at first with the touch out, turning away, but now you have to keep it moving. So something that I've been speaking about a lot recently is area of effect, where basically every player has like a bubble around them. Like this is my theory on this, you know, my kind of like hypothesis. Everyone has like an area of effect where essentially when you let someone come and get into your bubble, so as soon as Van Dijk now gets to here, that is the kind of time to say, I need to release the ball. You know, again, thinking about that, he's about to now kind of penetrate into that circle. So you can't have time to take one more touch. If you take one more touch, bang, that's it. And you get tackled. So take that original touch and then let's keep it moving. The passing itself here should already be the cue for you to go, I'm going to have to move this quick. Should you even play this pass? Probably not. Like, I think it's you're playing yourself into an endangered area. What could you do instead? You could carry on going with Salah. You could trigger the run with Adama Traore, go over the top, go in behind, play into that, you know, that area where you've got so much room for him to run into. Laying this into Mbappe is fine if you release it quick. But even when you release it quick, it's then like, okay, this player now has to pick it up and then get it out to this wing, making it a little bit more difficult. So just be mindful of that, to not let those kind of defenders step into that bubble and be super aggressive with it. So again, I'm really happy with your ability to recycle and your patience here. But when this ball gets onto the edge now, I think this is a scary scenario. Your left foot dribbling seems to be coming on. You seem a lot more comfortable with the ball at your feet, which is good. I would really love to see you try and take players on a bit more every now and then. All right, whether it's going to be step overs, whether it's going to be heel to ball rolls, whether it's going to be reverse elastico, I want you to ask questions of the defender. Where people are really like unsure on this game is in the 18-yard box. When someone's driving at them with controlled sprint, with step overs, with reverse elasticos, you know, you kind of know it, shot cancels, whatever it may be. So mechanically, you with the ball at your feet, just adding in a little bit more of a question for the opponent. Like here, this is a scenario where Van Dijk's going to come and step up to you, and you've got the ability to try and go in between kind of either defender, right, to attack into here or to attack into there with Mbappe. You can do that with a step over. You can do it with a reverse elastico. You could do it with a heel to ball roll, but just kind of wanting to at least have a bit of intent every now and then to take them on. Now, I'm not saying every time you get in this scenario, take them on with those step overs, like every time. It's about asking that question to the opponent and saying, look, in this one, bang, I want to try it. Let's see how we can do past you. You know, you kind of drive and then you turn away and then you have to lay the ball back off. You still develop a really good chance because Adama does super well here. And you could have go one more into Salah, but I think, you know, maybe you're thinking he's going to cover that. I don't mind necessarily what happens after that. It's very difficult in that area to kind of see what's going to happen in that speed of what the game is being played at. But just, I think, having a bit more intent in your actions and wanting to see if you can put that pressure on the opponent. Can you drive past them? Can you look for some skill moves? Mechanically, you might not be there yet, right? But as we're progressing up through the wins, that's something that we are really need to going to adapt onto. Okay, so you recycle exceptionally well. I wanted this ball straight away into Mbappe. You kind of dawdle like a little bit. You got that chance to play it into Mbappe. I think when you're thinking about matchups, Mbappe here, Taremi, I mean, I think everybody can agree. You wanting to find Mbappe to kind of take them on can be so much easier than it is with Taremi. I don't know this Taremi. I know it's one of the Evo cards you've got. But when you get it into Mbappe, you've got 5-star skill moves. He's pacey, he's strong, his dribbling's better. It's much more dangerous to defend against Taremi. Now, you still develop a great chance with Taremi by just turning and going. Now, you go for a shot on a harsh angle. I don't mind you going for it. This is obviously what we always talk about, going across your body. I think it's on his weak foot. I think he's right footed, this Taremi. Green time finishing to add to really make this more accurate. And then another thing that I've spoke about a lot for people, precision shooting. Precision shooting on this angle will be a little bit difficult, but you've had kind of 2 shots now with Adama and this one with Taremi, where assisted shooting hasn't helped you. If you aim correctly, precision shooting basically is in your controller settings. If you change from assisted to precision, the easiest way to try and think about it is you have to just aim where you want the ball to go, simply like a power shot, and you'd hit the target basically if you aim correctly here. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's a little bit difficult, but I think when we go back to it and we draw it on this base level, the pass to Mbappe is just better. You could lay it into here. You can look for a reverse Elastico. You can look for a step over and drive, you know. It's Mbappe. It's more favourable, right? But really good chance nonetheless. All right, so obviously they nerfed on post-patch 5 at the back on how quick your wing-backs get back. So this now is an area that you are going to be a little bit more familiar with if you're playing the 5 at the back, and that is going to be you kind of isolated with your centre-backs and then your 2 centre-mids to try and help out, right? So this is what happens here. You have to come over, and right now, if you look at this, that is your back 3. That is your wing back. That is your wing back. So we're essentially right now, we're almost in a 2 at the back. You being super aggressive out here with Skriniar, I think it is just not necessary. So when this ball comes out, this now is a case where you can switch and you can stay here. You can sprint jockey and you're basically just chilling. What you need to do is to delay, to wait for Van Dijk to get back, Risa to get back, or Adama Traore to get back. This right now isn't an immediate threat. What makes it more of an immediate threat? If he gets this ball into the middle. But you choose to be super aggressive on this ball. Remember that defending isn't about you going and win the ball every single time there and then. Delay, make it so he's not got an easy pass on, and just chill. Literally just play the long game. Like, you don't need to do anything here. Just wait. Is he going to keep driving? If he keeps driving, you keep going with him then. If he turns on the inside, you chill and you cover the pass on the middle. But you go for that super aggressive step to think he's going to drive. One little ball roll and now he's cut you open. You press the tackle button and bang, you press the tackle button again with Pepe. And I always talk about this being like a snowball. You made not a mistake because you're playing the 5 at the back, but your wing backs don't get back as quick, right? So it leaves you isolated with a 3 at the back a little bit more. So then that's your first snowball. Then the second mistake that you made makes the second snowball compound and it gets bigger. Then you make the same with Pepe, and then it's now gone from being a little mistake, a little snowball, to a massive snowball, compounding it over and over and over and one to another. So now you have 1 player out, 2 player out, 3 player out, and then Reece has now just got back into position. But all of this has happened over on this side. So now Van Dijk's going, bloody hell, guys, I've got to come over and cover for you now. And I'm meant to be over here covering with my left wing back. So Van Dijk has to come over. And then you're going, I don't know, do I go to the ball? Do I cover back? But look at how busy it is here. Meaning that he's always going to have that extra man. You go for the second man press with Pepe. By that point, it doesn't really matter. Essentially, when you do these 2 actions here, what happens after it? Don't care. Literally don't care. Because you've already made it super difficult for yourself, right? So just kind of being aware of that and not compounding kind of on those mistakes and causing yourself into a sticky scenario.